Welcome to Fantasy Breakouts. Thank you, as always, for joining us. I'm Pat. That's Eric. First of all, give me one guy I'm looking at as far as maybe making a move that's a free agent, and what kind of impact do you think will be? What kind of wave will happen because of it?
Yeah, I think the most interesting team running back wise for free agency this year is definitely the Packers. We talked about it a little bit before, but they're Jamaal Williams, Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon dynamic. I think somebody's leaving. It's definitely feeling like that's what's going to happen here. So we have Aaron Jones. I think he was a little bit forgotten almost towards the end of the year, but he had another top five season back to back now for running back position. Jamaal Williams was more involved in the midseason range, and he was fantasy relevant when Aaron Jones missed 2 games, but he ended up totaling 700 yards, and I think they'll roll into next year with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. I just think that's more of a lightning thunder combo that makes more logical sense, and I think they complement each other a ton. So I think Jamaal Williams is the odd man out, and like we talked about before, he might want some serious money too. So that's going to be a factor. But Pat, what do you think about that situation? You have anything to add?
I don't know, man. For my views of the Packers, they're cheap. Even though we all know you need this and that, they're cheap. And I think that Aaron Jones is a lot more demanding and will earn a lot more money compared to Jamaal Williams. And I would not be surprised if they take the cheap route with that. Because I think they honestly be fine either way. Obviously, I do agree with you. One of them is going to go. But as far as Jamaal Williams and let's say the big guy, A.J. Dillon, I really, Jamaal Williams showed us that he's got hands. He can do a lot of stuff. He might actually be more durable than Aaron Jones. Mm-hmm. And that's probably what I can see them looking at that and saying, cheaper, durability might be there more than Aaron Jones. We always talk about that R&B running back shelf life. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you're a Packers fan, let us know what you think. I think you got maybe a little more invested in that than we do.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, Pat, I think you have your another running back that you want to discuss their situation, Leonard Fournette.
What they playoff Lenny? Is that what they call him?
Playoff Lenny? Yeah, he was a stud. I think he was the number one position player actually throughout the playoffs, if you include the Super Bowl. If you did playoff fantasy, hell yeah.
He and I it's crazy because remember what 2 years ago was when he was on Jacksonville and they ran him to the ground. He wasn't really effective as far as efficient yard wise, but you knew you're gonna get him. He's gonna get the touches. What do you get? Like 40 touches one game? Like it's nuts. Yeah. But I think I see him going to Buffalo. I think Buffalo's tired. They're one piece away, even though, and they know that they can't run Josh Allen to the ground. We've seen that how that ends up. And Leonard Fournette has proven that he can now, he can be in between. He can be a pass catcher, all that stuff. And I don't see him as a player that's like, oh, I'm going to sacrifice. No. He was almost out the league. He took a pay cut last year. He knows he's worth more. I'm not. I take him as a person. I'm trying to get paid, and this is going to be the last contract. And I think Buffalo's tired of between the other two running backs. I think they're running back away, to be honest with you. People know that those two running backs are not. They're A and B. They're not A. So or one A, one B.
Yeah, we'll see. I think they're both on their rookie contracts, Moss and Singletary. So I figure they will add somebody. Fantasy wise for Josh Allen, I kind of hope they don't, but we'll see. But yeah, that's a good person to overview. Okay, so another one, Allen Robinson situation, and again, actually, I want to say this: if a player is cut, so let's think about this in the last few days here. If a player is cut and they have years remaining, they can be picked up immediately, like your J.J. Watt, A.J. Bouye. Actually, yeah, I think J.J. Watt, he was just straight cut. A.J. Bouye, defensive players, but they get picked up right now. But these guys that their contracts have ran out, it's St. Patrick's Day is when these guys are going to be moving. So anyway, Allen Robinson, I just think he's more fed up with the Bears quarterback situation. I don't know, team situation, because I think he was he tweeting something?
As a Bears fan, I'm sad to say this, man. Go get your bread. Keep it moving, man. The Bears are idiots. He's the most effective player, the most contested balls, pause, and he's the highest catch rating for most contested balls. Like, and I don't understand how people keep saying he's not a top. If he was on any team that had a normal quarterback, he'd be top 4, easy.
Yeah, yeah. I can see a team, maybe like the Eagles, that they've missed a little bit on a few receivers, or maybe didn't really get the value they thought they had. I can see them grabbing him and just saying forget the draft. And it looks like they're done with Alshon. I highly doubt he'll be around.
You got to think. I think I read something the other day, like they're thinking about cutting Alshon, Deshaun, and there's another one. So them right there could combine for that. Him with Jalen Rager, Jalen Hurts.
That would look good, wouldn't it? All right, and then Pat, let's see what you got the big name on your list. So what do you think?
Deshaun.
What was the most ideal place you think he could go?
Simple, San Fran. Be a perfect matchup. I think Jimmy G, he can't stay healthy. It is what it is. Deshaun deserves a defense. And they lost how many people last year, and they were still productive. Obviously, Salah left or wherever, but that's still that mentality, that culture in that building is still there, period. They got the running backs. I mean, he doesn't really need running backs. And just think about what he's going to do for Kittle. What he's going to do for what's the receiver?
Ayuk, Samuel.
Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
Samuel.
Bourne might not be playing that much by that point. But hey.
No, but like just imagine those receivers.
I think they'll get another receiver, I bet.
And they don't even need they need a mediocre, like not an A. They need like a role player, solid role player, like a Marvin Jones.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you a question about that? So, I mean, the 49ers, they run the ball. They run that outside zone. I mean, fantasy-wise, I think that's, in my opinion, I think real life-wise, that's perfect. I think fantasy-wise, I don't think that's perfect, personally. I think fantasy-wise, you want to see them on a worse defense, or coupled with a worse defense. So maybe
yes and no.
Some other options.
But let's think about this. He doesn't need to throw 30 times, 40 times like he's doing that to be fantasy relevant. George Kittle's going to get his. Mm-hmm. If Deshaun only throws 20 times games and has 3 touchdowns, which I can see happening.
Right.
And he's going to run his. They're going to do some more read option. I think he's still a dual threat. I think he really will not have – he's not going to have any 40-point – I mean, he could, depend on the defense that they say they're not running. I just think it'll work out. Okay. He's still going to be 20, 22 a game, I'd say, personally.
Okay. Yeah, because they were one of the most run-heavy teams, but
oh yeah,
but yeah, I think that'll extend his career. He's got two ACL tears, 3, maybe even 3. So I want to see this guy play for a long time. So
and I think they'll incorporate some of those Mahomes flick pass things too. He likes that.
All right. Yep. Okay, so I have my next person here. So this is you either love him or you hate him. I mean, right? So, yeah, reports from a few days ago, the Jets and the Raiders are both really interested. I think so. He went to USC. He played on Pittsburgh for 3 years now. All East Coast. I think those guys usually want to go back West Coast. So I think the Raiders really have the best chance to get him. And it's such an important year for Carr, for Jacobs, that I think they're going to overpay somebody just to get they could say, hey, we addressed this position this year, the GM talk. So I think that's a pretty decent fit for the Raiders. But where do you think he could go, or where do you like him? Or is he going back to Steelers? What do you think?
I don't know about the Steelers, man. I think they need to redo a lot of stuff. And I don't know, Juju. That's not saying Juju's not a good player, because even with people saying he's bad, this and that, look at his stats. I mean, I think he was the top slant receiver. Like, it is what it is. Like, whatever. But I think personally, I don't think he's going back to Steelers. I can see him he can be this modest player or whatever. But I mean, if he goes to the Raiders, mean, they got Nelson Aguilar for cheap. You know, I think that I don't think they're going to pay him, and I think he's looking for a little. He's not that cheap, you know. So we'll see, man. If the Jets create a couple, you know, a foundation, get a good quarterback, with Sean ends up there, get a couple moving parts. I mean, James Crowder is their slant right now, which is very effective. But I mean, he's 5'10", and he's probably what 30, 32 now. I mean, it's his third round.
Yeah, he might have a year or two left in him. But yeah, and I guess we just talked about Deshaun, but he's not a free agent. But it feels like it, right?
Oh yeah, he's gonna get out of there.
All right.
Maybe he goes to Texans. I don't know.
All right, and then your last guy, somebody you were big on all throughout the fantasy season, your guy, Corey Davis. What do you have on that one? Where's his ideal spot?
What was he? He was a number 4 overall pick, I think, a few years back.
Yeah.
That's crazy by itself. So he's got talent. A little suspect on their draft pick decision, but it is what it is. But I think he's going to go where he got shut out last game, and that's in Green Bay. I think Aaron Rodgers is really going to go up there and tell him, look, I need another receiver. Devontae's great, we all know, but these other guys that you guys think we have are not it. And I keep reminding you, I think he's going to really, you know, he has, 2-3 years left of being Aaron Rodgers. I think he's really going to force their hand and, like, just go get Corey Davis. You know, sign him a 1-year deal, something. There's always some excuse by somewhere where you don't sign somebody. They didn't go after Will Fuller because of this. Corey Davis, look at his year. Young, give him a 1-year deal, pay him a little bit. Just give me that. That's all I need.
I had to look that up. Corey Davis was one of the Rams picks, one of those picks that the Rams just throw away willy-nilly. He was a 5th overall pick in 2017, and they got him in the trade with the Rams, or they got that pick in the trade with the Rams. Man, Rams, these Rams picks. I would like a list of like all the picks of the Rams have lost. I know they did that. When did they do that? Well, they did it when who was it? It was like what's the dude? Aaron Donald got drafted. They showed like a whole big list back of their defense, all the defensive players they actually received. But I'd like to see it the most recent years big list. Maybe I'll put that together. But yeah, Corey Davis, man, he'd be a stud for Green Bay. And if anything, I mean, they're like so dire, you know. What's the phrase? Anyway, everything relies on Davante Adams. If anything happens, this man, I know he was out 2 years ago and they struggled, but they need somebody like Corey Davis. That'd be a good fit to me too. But I think
Corey Davis could be and he's not one of those people that's like, I need the ball. Where's the ball? He's one of those people. He's mad that he loses. You know, good team player. So I think he'd be a perfect man. Just imagine a defense triple Devontae and Corey Davis gonna eat.
Oh yeah.
If he goes to Green Bay,
be scary.
Best believe I'm drafting him.
Right. Yeah. Otherwise, we have our players that we think are going to stay put. Actually, these are my guys. I think Dak's getting re-signed. Kenny Galladay, Godwin, Hunter Henry, AB. I was on the fence with Corey Davis. You know, they did invest a lot into him, but hey, he's in this spot, so we'll see what happens. But then Curtis Samuel, I think he comes back.
Carolina?
I think so. I mean, they drew up so many just his plays at a certain point, but that was with McCaffrey out. So maybe we'll see what they do. I mean, are they gonna like make him a focal point still or not? And that's a really interesting one. He's probably my most wishy-washy out of those guys. I think with Marvin Jones likely going, Kenny Galladay comes back. People are talking about Godwin, but that offense, I think Tom Brady's going to tell the Bucs who to sign and re-sign. He's going to want to keep that offense together. And they might lose Sue, maybe. But.
Yeah, they're going to lose. There's no way with who they have right now they're going to be able to bring all of them back. They're going to take a hit somewhere. But Godwin, they're like, I remember in that game, they're like, oh my God, you can't be having these drops. First of all, the man has a cast on his hand. Do you realize how hard it is to catch like the littlest thing could throw it off, right? He's like, you just can't have these costly, drops in the playoffs. Next play, he does that over the shoulder. He's like, and that's why he's Chris Godwin. It's like, but if Corey Davis doesn't go to Packers, I could see like Samuel. Those two, I could see them as people that are ready to win and to get paid.
Those are
I
complimentary.
don't know if Carolina. Yeah, I don't see Carolina really. I could see them like maybe Curtis Samuels going a little more like, I want a long term, like a 4-year deal. What Carolina's only willing to give him 3 or something like that. Little things like that. I can see that. Just switching up like that. I mean, they're not even. There's so much uncertainty around Carolina. They just signed Teddy for how many years, and they're already talking about trying to trade him for this and this.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you get Deshaun, you get Deshaun. That's different. But it seems like there's too up in the air about Teddy.
Yeah. And what are they going to get? I mean, they're drafting, I think, at like that 7-8 area. I don't think they're going to get the quarterback they want, but we'll see. I mean, it's super interesting. We'll get into the draft stuff. I mean, yeah, just please check us out. I think we're making some moves. I don't want to get off topic too bad, but Pat,
we're making moves.
But yeah, we'll be back. I want to go over some of these positional guys because get into the quarterbacks more because I mean I think a lot of people that are watching, you're probably familiar with the Alabama players, the Clemson players, those guys, but there's some other really, really talented. I think the receiver position is pretty sick this year, so we'll get into that. I think it's just kind of we can take this wherever we want to in this off season. It'll be super fun. Pat, do you have anything otherwise you want to go over?
I just kind of feeding off that, man. If you guys say, you know what, there's a lot of quarterbacks off the draft and everything, can you guys suggest like if you guys want us to make a video on like give us your top 15 quarterbacks or something like that, or anything like that. Go ahead and tell us. It's fun. You just think about that. Different scenarios, the situations where they end up, all that stuff. It's fun. So just if you guys have anything that you really want, that's really bothering you or really getting to you, that you bet your last dollar on,
yeah,
anything like that, just go ahead and ask us, man.
Yeah, especially fantasy football. I'm not college football this year. There's only like 3. Some teams only played like 5 games, so it's not as easy to catch a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to
subscribe.
Be sure to subscribe. I'm cutting that. I was just checking. All right. Well, thank you so much. Best fantasy football channel in the world. Appreciate it. Thanks, Pat.
Deuces.